We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many challenges as we can, before the Snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we complete all the challenges in a chunk before time is up, the Snake grows, giving us more area to play in. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back to the Isle of Souls, where we're currently stuck on the outside of the Soul Wars minigame, with the head of the snake currently on the west side of the island and the tail of the snake down in the Soul Wars mine. Now on this island we're kind of stuck here for a little while, as we're going to have to continuously do loops until we escape back through the portal which takes us to Edril or the Ferox Enclave. And while we're here there are going to be a number of chunks that we can definitely complete. So strap in, because we've got a bunch of work to do. But first and foremost, before we do anything, let's have a little tour around the island. So welcome to the Isle of Souls, where we're going to be spending quite a bunch of time, I think. The chunk straight south of the entrance has the Soul Wars mine, which has a 90 mining requirement on it, as there's shooting stars that spawn here. So we're probably going to spend quite a bit of time using the 3 iron rocks next to each other here to do some power mining. Working clockwise around the island, we then come to the Potter's Wheel chunk, which would normally have a 25 crafting requirement, but I don't have an iron bar to fix it, so until we get one of those, this doesn't have any way of completing it. We then go to a chunk with yew trees in it, which, as long-term viewers will know, is currently one of my medium-term goals of 72 fletching to make the shield, but that's going to be a long one, so we won't be able to complete this one anytime soon. We then pass by 3 chunks which have absolutely nothing in them, which means they are technically complete, but they're not going to count towards the length of the snake. The next chunk we get to is the Crumbling Tower, which has these forgotten souls that drop battle staves, which is a big upgrade for me. But because they drop herbs as well, this chunk has a herb lore requirement, which we're not going to be able to complete when we're on the island for now. Moving on, we get to a chunk with some teak trees in it, which is going to be great. This is going to be the second best chunk on the island, and I'll show you why it's not the first in just a second, because this is going to give us some really fast woodcutting and fire making experience, so we're going to be spending probably quite a bit of time here. We then get to a chunk with Pyre Fiends in it, which I can't kill until I get to 30 Slayer, but we are very close to that, so we might be able to unlock the ability to kill them. This chunk also has some fishing in it, which means that we are going to need to get 50 fishing to unlock this chunk. So this will be one that we might be able to unlock later down the line. We then pass through another chunk which has nothing in it to get to the Isle of Souls dungeon. The best chunk on this island, because in here there are a bunch of dangerous monsters, but there is also a chest, which inside of it has a mithril axe. To most people that won't be a very big upgrade, but to me that is huge, as it's the only way that I've seen so far that we can get a better axe than the iron axe I've been carrying since the first chunk of the game. Now this chunk is going to be hard because there are iron and blue dragons downstairs, and I don't think I'm going to be able to kill either of them, so we're going to have to run past them. As well as this chunk also has fire giants in it, which will let us get a rune scimitar, a massive DPS upgrade for our melee. We then pass through another chunk which has nothing in it to get to a fishing chunk, but this time it has sharks to harpoon, which means we're going to need 76 fishing and 80 cooking to complete this one, which I don't think we're going to do unless we're stuck here for a very long time. And then last but not least, we have the Maple Tree chunk. This chunk we already have all the requirements for, which means the second that we get into it, we're going to be able to increase the length of the snake, which is going to be incredible. Anyway, that's been a tour of the outside of the Isle of Souls. Let's get to doing some power mining. Okay, let's get to doing our first hour. And as I mentioned kind of at the end of the last episode, the power mining spot down here is what I want to use. There's 3 iron rocks next to each other. Now, I don't have access to a bank, so I'm going to have to drop all of it, but we can stand here and do a good hour of power mining. And we're currently sitting at level 51 mining, with an hour with an adamant pickaxe and low level. I don't know how much XP we're going to get, but hopefully we can get up to maybe 53, 54. But this is a nice chill way to start the hour, so we might as well get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's jump into this spot here where I'm going to spend the next 60 minutes. And a lamp. This is going straight on to Slayer. Now, I'm thinking as a final goal for Slayer. Now, there's a lot of quests which have like really high requirements. Monkey Madness 2, for instance, 69. But I think a good goal for the Slayer grind would be to get it up to being able to complete all of the quests in Varlamore, which I believe is like 40 something Slayer. I can't remember, I need to look it up. There's 52 mining. Getting about 35,000 experience an hour doing this. It's not incredible, but you know, any levels are going to be good levels. So my kind of intermediary goal at the moment is 60 mining. Just so then we can unlock the mining guild next time we go past there. There's 53, about 20 minutes later. We won't be able to get to 54, I don't think, but it's been a decent amount of progress. It's nice to just relax and do a little bit of normal RuneScape after doing all the Soul Wars. With the end of that, that's the end of the first hour. Now we lose access to this chunk at the end of this one, and we move one more chunk clockwise around the island. Which means the next thing we're going to have to work on is doing some wood cutting. So let's run over to the yew tree and do some very slow wood cutting. With a steel axe and 69 wood cutting, this is going to be very slow, but we're going to give it a shot. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these into unstrung short bows, and they'll just drop them on the ground, because turning them into arrow shafts, it becomes diminishing returns when you get up to the higher trees. So I think this is going to be better. Anyway, let's start the timer. Let's go. These are as far apart as they can get. This is very painful. Okay, well, after doing an hour of that, that's pretty rough compared to Oaks. It's 22,000 woodcutting experience and 5,000 fletching experience. Well, I haven't done these, but this will be a few hundred more. Now, because we're going up into this top left chunk, I think I'm going to try and go for the battle staffs. Let's go up there and see how it goes. So, with the crumbling tower chunk, I'm just going to focus on killing these forgotten souls. My highest DPS comes from the bow and arrows, and I don't think I'm going to swap back to doing some melee until I've got my rune scimitar. Oh, until I hopefully get my rune scimitar. So let's spend an hour killing these forgotten souls, because I really badly want the battle staffs that come from them. As well as that, I'm looking for a bunch of runes to maybe use later. So let's give this a shot. If I run out of inventory, the uncut gems are going to go first, and then the bird's nests, I think, and the sturdy beehive parts. But let's give this a shot beforehand. 3, 2, 1, go. This should be pretty chill. There's 4 spawns up here, so should be nice and easy. I don't think they'll do basically any damage to me. With this safe spot here, this is super nice and chill. And when they're not in the safe spot, I take maybe a damage or 2 per kill. So this will be very easy for the next 50 minutes. Hopefully we can get some good drops soon, like some nature runes. And there is the first battle staff. There's a water battle staff, so ideally I'm going to get one of each of the elements, as I currently have no staffs whatsoever, and these act as normal staffs, so no water runes when using this. Hey, and there's the one I was really looking for, which is the air battle staff. So I can actually now start doing some training, because I have a bunch of mind runes in the bank, so I wouldn't mind starting to train a bit of magic. Especially if we go back to a rune shop at some point, well, after we've bought all the feathers we need. On further reflection, I think I'm going to drop these sturdy beehive parts. They are 100 animate infused bark, but I just don't think I'll be able to hold on to them. And there's the fire battle staff. I think I'm going to drop the water battle staff, just because the fire battle staff is just better for anything combat related, and the air staff is just going to be useful for starting out training. So I think it's time to say goodbye to the water battle staff. So with these two, the only thing we're looking for now is the black robe, as it is a magic besting slot. I'm not going to bother farming these guys to train out my magic. Their rune drops have not been that great. Nice. Okay, you know what, just for the sake of it, let me take these off and if I go here and I do this a couple of times, there's 5 magic and 900 total. Was that completely worthless? Absolutely. But I just saw that and thought it'd be funny. Let's get rid of some of these runes. I really don't think this is worth holding apart from the nature runes. Okay, with this, I just had a double check, and the only thing left on the drop table that'd be end of use is the black robe. And I don't think that's going to be worth it, because it's a best in slot, sure, but it's a best in slot that's equal to blue and all the other colours, so I think I'm just going to get back to doing a little bit of woodcutting. Okay, actually, I'm thinking, because this is really bad fletching experience, I need to work on the fire making grind anyway for the next chunk. So let's just do a bit of fire making. 60 is the long-term goal of fire making, but 50 unlocks this next chunk. If we can get this going, then that means that we should be able to unlock the next chunk very quickly. Okay, so we just need 50 fire making. We have 5 hours to do it, and we have 3 teak trees. So let's give it a shot. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get to this, and I really, really hope we'll get some good forestry events while we're here. Oh, and just while we're at it, just for the sake of ticking it off, I just need to fletch 1 mahogany stock. So we have mahogany, turn this into a stock, and that is a chunk task complete. Now we just need 50 fire making to burn 1, and we'll be good. And the snake will be 6 chunks long. Actually, this is such a good fire making experience that I'm hoping we can maybe even put a chunk into the 60 we're going to need. But looking at where the snake's about to go, I think we're going to have more important things to do once we get to that. There's 40 fire making. Probably about 2 more hours until we get to 50. Hey, it's a leprechaun. Ah. Bank. Open my deposit box. Ah, brilliant. We can put all of this stuff away, which will clear up so much space for me. Cool. And that's everything I want to put away. Incredible. That leprechaun event is one of the main reasons why I wanted a forestry backpack so bad. It effectively doubles our way of getting to a deposit box when we're deep away from banks. Now, with the snake being much longer, it shouldn't be too much of a problem getting to banks, but, you know, it's nice, especially for situations like this. And with the end of this hour, we are literally only a couple more logs away from 70 wood cutting, and we're well on our way to 50 fire making. So hopefully we can get it in the next 2 hours. The next chunk technically would have something for us to do, but with the fishing, it's going to be way too far away. So we're going to keep working on the fire making to try and complete this chunk. So this next chunk is one which has the pyre fiends and the harpoon fishing spot in it. But of course, we're not going to work on that now. So let's run back to doing some teak chopping. And with this teak tree, that is the very first 70 on the account. That's very nice. We're still quite a way away from how much wood cutting we're going to get because we're nowhere near the top of our fletching grind. We still have a bunch of fire making to get. So let's get back to it. There's 45 fire making. There's 1 more to put into Slayer, which is 27 Slayer. In 3 levels time, we can actually go and kill the pyre fiends which are over there, which is something to look forward to, maybe. I don't think they've got anything good on their drop table. We're now in the final chunk before we get to the Isle of Souls dungeon, and we're very close to 50 fire making. So we should be able to get it in this hour. Let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Light the resist logs. And with this log, we are now at 50 fire making, which means that if I go chop down 1 mahogany log, light it on fire, that is a chunk task complete, and that is this chunk completed. As I had tasks in it, that now means that the snake will be growing by 1 chunk. So let's jump in the chunk picker after I've done just a little bit more wood cutting, then we will get on with it. So just when we have a little bit more time left in this chunk, I'm going to quickly go do a bit of fishing, as that is one of the requirements for some of the other chunks around this island, as we've now done all of the wood cutting and fire making. We will need to do some more later to get 64 willow logs, but I will wait until the next loop if we do stay on this island to work on that. Let's move over to do some fishing. And with the end of that hour, that will be it for the skilling we're doing at the moment. So let's jump in the chunk picker and complete that chunk. It's going to be incredible to have a snake of 6 length. I'm just looking at doing some fishing, and we're going to do about an hour and a half of cage fishing to get to 50 fishing to complete the fishing requirement, but we're kind of soft locked on the cooking requirement for a little while, as we need 35 to be able to cook some of the fish that we start getting. Anyway, let's jump in the chunk picker. And here we are. For demonstration purposes, I've just removed the rest of the snake to show that we can tick off the fact that we have completed 50 fire making and 61 fletching to complete this chunk here. To give this chunk a green star, and it's now going to add to the length of the snake. So if I quickly add the rest back, when we move the snake forward by 1 here, we don't get rid of the final chunk in the chain, and the snake is now 6 chunks long. Let's jump back into the game and have a look at the new chunk, which I believe is going to cause a bunch of headaches. In this dungeon lies many best in slots for me, and what I think is going to be a lot of pain, but that is going to be the next episodes to deal with. But that is going to be a problem for next episodes me to deal with, where we're going to go in there and we're going to try and use the chest to try and get a best in slot axe and a few other goodies along the way. So that has been quite a progressful episode. We have managed to complete yet another chunk and work towards quite a few other goals. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, a like would be greatly appreciated, and a subscription would be absolutely amazing. I'll see you next time when I am going to want to be tearing my hair out. I'll see you then.